Hi, I'm Christian Garrett. Did you see the 1990s movie New Jack City? It was basically the story of crack cocaine in the streets of New York City. I believe that's what an opiate epidemic actually looks like in our 21st century. Opiates are naturally occurring substances that can be extracted from the opium poppy plant. This opiate crisis epidemic is plaguing every city in America and started almost simultaneously with the crack cocaine epidemic, both in the 1990s. The difference is big pharmaceutical companies wanted a piece of American pie. The truth of the matter is prescription drugs were and still are, in some places, Kentucky, Iowa, and Boston, to name a few. Now, with over 10 million prescriptions being misused, Houston, we have a problem. Generally, there are no single causes of America's opiate crisis, but overprescription of opiates has undoubtedly contributed. Drugs like oxycodone, Vicodin, fentanyl, and of the legal counterpart, heroin, the opiate the opiate epidemic began with the availability of oxycodone in 1996. Oxycodone was portrayed as a revolutionary wonder drug because the painkiller was released only slowly into the body. Opium has been used to simulate pleasure and relieve pain since at least 3400 BCE. Its combination of danger and pleasure has led to repeated cycles of innovation, addiction, and correction, which begin when entrepreneurs produce an allegedly safer opiate. For individuals addicted to opiates tend to suffer from chronic pain. Opiate use led to opiate abuse, and some took to crushing the pills and ingesting the medication all at once. Opiate use, the state has diverted manpower from opium to other substances such as heroin, weed, crack cocaine, prescription and non-prescription opiates. In the 19th century, opiates were packaged into serums with delightfully alliterative names like Miss Winslow's soothing syrup. Other opiates include never mix your medications. Mixing alcohol and other drugs with opiate painkillers can intensify the effects. In the legal market, physicians who cared about treating the impaired were persuaded by time release that the new opiates were truly safer than the older ones. Before the ban, all opiate users would buy a mild form of the drug from the corner store for a small price. Opiates are just guilty for America's war on drugs as any illegal or street drugs. Opium was well known to civilizations from Greece to Egypt to Persia to India, both for its beneficial effect and possible overdoses. One of the best ways to confront epidemic drug use is addiction maintenance. The effects of opiate use has a lasting impact on our country and individuals. Establishing medically supervised clinics to provide pharmaceutical-grade narcotics and amounts to calibrated to maintain the social, physical, and well-being of the drug user. Law enforcement has kept its sights with ongoing training throughout the drug war. Especially, this training has only targeted more than low-income and minority neighborhoods. It has defunded studies searching for innovative approaches to solve the problems arising from the drug use and abuse. White America has opened its eyes to the evils of the drug war at the very moment that the opiate epidemic has begun to plague rural and predominantly white communities. An example of interest convergence theory in action, which posits that white America will only see fit to help Black America if white Americans are forced to face the same challenges as Black Americans. These challenges include infants born with drug-related issues, unemployment, poor neighborhoods, ongoing violence and theft. Ultimately, it would be suburban neighborhoods and rural areas that look like crack infestations. These challenges, during the U.S. Civil War, morphine addiction was termed the soldier's disease. In the last third of the 19th century, when a few people became addicts, their lives were depleted, like an alcoholic's life is depleted. The idea of a drug war was seemed foreign to medical professionals. For instance, the Purdue pharmacy suing the Sackler family for being responsible for the opioid crisis. On the contrary, doctors regarded persons suffering from the drug addiction as patients deserving of treatment. Nearly 500,000 people died from opioid overdoses between 1999 and 2019. In 1701, Dr. John Jones wrote in the Mysteries of Opium revealed that long terms of opium use generates um long terms of opium use generates an inability or unenergetic to do anything except it be with it be while the opium operates. But quitting opium use could lead to intolerable anxieties or even a miserable death. The federal government has responded predictably, criminally prosecuting doctors who prescribe opiates to the drug dependent. Police, prosecutors, and politicians have supplemented the Harrison Narcotics Act with more powerful policies, including the Controlled Substance Act and other state law corollaries. The state consistently prohibited, even prosecuted medical professionals who had helped problematic drug users, rather by seeing reform grounded in a genuine commitment to civil. New consumers avoid the drug or are prohibited from using it, but existing users pass away and the fad dies down until memories fade and the cycle begins again. What can people do to stay clear of opiates? The National Safety Council suggests taking these steps to fight the opiate epidemic. Get rid of expired and unwanted prescriptions. More than half of people who misuse opiate pain relievers get them from a friend or family member. Request an opiate warning label to keep fewer pills out of circulation to begin with. You can request an opiate warning label from NSC. A warning label on an insurance card or prescription card is assigned to doctors and pharmacists that you want answers. Now, my speech was basically on the American crisis, the American opiate crisis epidemic. So